Did somebody say WeeaBoots? Because I think I just heard someone say WeeaBoots. Hello and welcome to another episode of WeeaBoots, the anime review podcast. I'm your host, as always, Dan. We've got a full cast today. Here's Jay. From Hail Zeon. Yep. We got Bob.
Yay.
Giving it your all today. Yep. Gone Barre, Bob. And we got Jeff.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Speak up!
So, it's from Toy Story.
It is. So today...
Did you actually recognize that?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're the first person.
Today, on this episode of WeeaBoots, we're reviewing Saekano, How to Raise a Boring Girlfriend, and Yatterman Night. So we did something interesting this time. We got tired of reviewing one anime per week, because, you know, originally we did the monthly format, and then we were like, whatever, let's change it to a weekly. And now what we're going to do is, me and Bob are going to watch both series, and then Jay will watch one, and Jeff will watch another. So, Jeff, what did you watch?
Saekano.
Good job. That's close.
Close enough.
Close enough.
Saekano.
No, Saekano.
Sriracha.
Sriracha!
Sounds like pretty good anime.
And Jay, what have you been watching?
I watched Yatterman Night.
Now, as usual for our sort of preview review style, we watched 4 episodes. Because only Nichijou gets us watching all 26 episodes.
I watched 5 episodes of Yatterman Night.
Whoa!
Are you the
Son of
winner
a
this
bitch.
week?
What?
Bob's compensating for me missing 1 episode of Yatterman Night because Funimation plays a lot of ads.
Well, quit being such a Jew fag and just fucking pay for the premium subscription.
No.
I've been watching my anime on Hulu and it's terrible.
Yes. Hulu's quality is so bad.
Yeah, it's like, check out this
That's
HD ad. Now here's
Your SD fucking anime.
that we're not even gonna
Because fucking
load.
Funimation uses Hulu, so that's what we're stuck with. So it's all
Do
the
they use
Hulu
Hulu?
ads. Yeah, they use Hulu. Except it's just on the because if you look, there's the Hulu logo at the corner.
Certain
I
ones
didn't
are
know that.
Hulu, others aren't. Like,
Yatterman Night was. I know that much.
yeah,
Okay.
if it's that week, it will be Funimation's website. If it's been more than a week since the episode released, it'll switch over to the Hulu servers. Unless you have the Funimation subscription, which gives you the HD all the time.
Okay, so the interesting thing about all of that is, like, the only one I could trust is Crunchyroll, because the fucking iPhone app for Funimation, there's a free version that crashes constantly, and then there's a $8 or $9 version.
What?
The premium
Of the
version?
app?
Yes! So I would have to pay monthly and pay again for the app.
That's gross.
Yeah, that's fucking
Motherfuckers.
bullshit.
That doesn't even make sense.
Whereas Crunchyroll's like, yeah, here's your iPhone quality, and me and Jeff are looking at his phone going, oh, gross, this isn't 1080p.
I had that for a while, and then I realized that it was just streaming SD, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do this.
When the
It's kinda
PS3
fucked
first
up.
started doing that, it was like that. It was just SD streams,
Yeah,
and then eventually they
Crunchyroll's
fixed it.
PS3 app
Yeah.
was pretty terrible.
So,
Yeah.
with any hope, at some point in time, they'll fix that.
just start a video streaming podcast.
Yeah, we just bitch about quality of streams. So watch the stream at Tuesday, February 17th on the East Coast at this time. And, Crunchyroll didn't really serve me up. Here are some pictures. I screen capped it.
I have a 20 megabit per second internet connection, and it had to load a little bit.
How much is yours, Bob? I think it's like 30 or something.
Something like that.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
fucking, of course, it's still
30.
like, ugh, this is hard.
It is hard.
You know what's easy, though? BitTorrent. But I didn't say that. And now I'm not going to come out and say BitTorrent allows you to download anime and watch it in a convenient manner. That would be bad because that's condoning piracy, and I don't do that. I deal with shitty Hulu ads.
Then you get all those fancy,
What? Like the... The Jeff became a crow!
No, the
Fan
Quick
notes or
feed
something?
yeah, the fan notes where it's like, hey, you see this little bit of text that doesn't mean anything? We
Here's
translated it
here's-
anyway.
We've covered the screen with notes so you can't see anything
Yeah.
else.
Whenever it starts getting entirely too meta, where it's like, we had to explain this note because we talked about Japanese subculture. And
Meanwhile, in fucking Yatterman on fucking Funimation, it pops up with a whole screen of like 3 lines of text and it doesn't bother translating it. I was so pissed.
You mean the storybook?
Yep.
Yeah, that fucking storybook. 'Cause
Fucking
I'm like,
pissed.
I'm like, you're gonna.
And it's not like there for a short period of time, Jeff. It's like 10 whole seconds
like,
you're staring
they
at it.
clearly
mental-
want you to
Uh-huh.
read it.
Yeah.
Slowly zooming in on it.
Yeah, like did they actually give us like a narration to go with that afterwards? Okay, I didn't think so.
No,
Yeah, I
no,
thought it was just
no.
like
Wow.
I was
Fuck
meant
us.
to fucking read this, bastards.
I just like it's one of those like you're yelling at your TV and it's stupid moments, but it just sort of gripped me and I was like, "Fuck you, Funimation!" Like, as soon as that happened,
That's okay. I did the same thing.
there you go. Fuck
Buy
you,
the
anime.
DVDs,
Fuck
I
you,
guess.
Funimation. Buy the DVDs.
DVD.
Do they have any plan? Do we know the licensing plans for either of these series?
I know Funimation, as far as I know, hasn't announced a home release for Yatterman Night, but
Okay.
I'm assuming it'll get one. They tend to do that for a lot of stuff.
Okay, Saekano. Does anyone know anything?
I don't know if anybody's bought the rights
Okay.
other than Crunchyroll just for streaming.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
If Crunchyroll owns it, they might farm that out to Discotech, because Discotech's been doing their physical releases.
Yeah. If you guys hear any news on that, make sure to update us on future episodes. Okay.
Okay.
Just so we can keep people on the same page. In any case, let's go ahead and get started. We'll talk about Saekano, how to raise a boring girlfriend first. Bob, give us the rundown.
So we should let Jeff do the rundown. He was only watching that one.
Well, I mean, of like the credits.
Okay.
You're the one who gets the credits. I figured you could attempt to read them every week.
Kanta Kame.
Okay, already taken over. Kanta Kame, who did Buddy Drop, the TV series Tales of Vesperia, The First Strike, which is a movie. He is the director of Saekano. We got animation production by fucking A1 Pictures, who did Al Noah.
0.
I just, the period is
Yeah,
really...
dot 0.
So Al Noah .0, which is a TV series with a dumb name. And Birdie the Mighty, Decode.
Another anime with a dumb name.
And then Black Butler, which that name's all right.
Yeah, and they did a
I don't
ton
know,
of
that was
other
not a little
stuff.
racist.
What?
So
How
that was
is that?
what, Black Butler?
What part of that's racist? It's just a alliteration with the double consonants. That's the whole reason. And butlers wear black.
Yes.
Yeah.
So did
So-
Nick.
So yeah, Tomiya Aki did the main. Or oh wait,
Yeah,
no.
no, yeah,
Okay,
those are
the credits
characters.
need a harder divide between
I
them.
had to cut all that out just so we could fit them both on screen.
Okay, you can
They
zoom.
did also do Anohana. Going. I just looked it up.
Okay, you did.
Going back
Okay.
up to that.
All
there
right.
was
Anohana.
Yeah, they did a
that
ton of
sounds
stuff.
familiar. Is that Blue Spring Ride?
No.
There was a figure
okay.
of Menma in episode 1 in the dude's room, so I was asking Bob about it
Gotcha.
beforehand.
Cool.
I just looked it up.
So guys,
Cool.
being the guy who hasn't seen this series, what the fuck is it about?
Let me introduce you to the series. Now, it starts with episode 0. So already you're like, what's going on? And episode 0 jumps ahead in time a shitload. Now, it does that thing sometimes animes do and other forms of storytelling do, where they show you something later which kind of removes the suspense from a few scenes because it lets you know, hey, this is going to sort of almost kind of work out. And the idea here is that this main character, at least I think he's the main character, it seems to be alluding to him being the main character, but in any case, yes. Main character dude, I'm going to go with Aki, even though it's Tomiya Aki. I like Aki more, it's shorter. Easier for conversation.
Call him
So
Tomo.
Tomoku. So Tomoku is a fucking he since youth he wanted to be the head of a game company, and he sort of gets struck one day with an idea for a game when he sees a beautiful girl at the top of a hill. That was not intentional, the beautiful. I have that problem for real. In any case, at the top of a fucking I've been watching anime all day. No L's or R's in the no spin zone. So in any case, he sees a beautiful girl one day in spring, cherry blossoms flying through the wind, and
Like they do. Yeah.
and her hat gets blown off, and he looks at the hat and looks up at her, and she's in this beautiful white dress, etc., etc., and he's just like... And then he realized he wanted to make a dating sim.
Okay, are we sure he wasn't watching Clannad?
Yeah.
Because it sounds like you were watching Clannad.
Yeah.
He had probably watched it. He was clearly really into dating sims before this.
No, he's
incident.
asking if I've
Yeah.
watched Clannad.
Oh,
I was actually
Yeah. Not the fictional character.
okay.
But really? That guy's such an otaku, he definitely watched Clannad.
yeah.
Because I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, okay, so you check the top of the hill, cherry blossoms, cue music. Yeah, it sounds...
And so that gives him his impetus for actually setting about his life goal of making a game. So he's going to make a dating sim. And the series is about him trying to get these really talented people to help him in the specific skills they have. So he has classmates that are excellent published writers who write slutty light novels.
Pretty much
And-
everyone more talented than him.
Right.
Right.
I don't know if the light novels are slutty. The
well,
the
they're
Dojins
like
were definitely
yeah, the doujin,
Hentai.
but the light novels, they were like, trashy romance novel sort of thing.
I guess.
She even sort of owns up to it at one point. I hear a voice coughing. In any case.
Not here.
So then he also tries to get an illustrator who is an extremely proud person, comes from rich family, blah, 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 but draws shitty 18-plus doujin.
Hey, they're supposed to
Secretly.
be pretty good.
Okay, that's true. Amazingly visceral 18-plus doujin.
How visceral are we talking here? Because, I mean, I'm a little desensitized.
Well, the main character didn't want to be caught with those in his room. So, since he's an otaku...
Well, the thing is, though, he's also Japanese, and we know how sexually repressed those people are.
I don't know, I saw his room. There's a lot of shit. He had so many dating sims.
He said he would see them later tonight. He was just like, goodbye, everybody. I'll see you all later.
But yeah, so yeah, he's just trying to get these talented people to work with him. And the humorous part is for the first episode or two, or even 3 really, past 0, because 0 is a huge time jump, so I'm sort of just trying to tell the story from the logical beginning instead of that.
Right.
He keeps getting shut down. He's like, here's my proposal, and he presents it to the illustrator, and she's like, this is fucking garbage, no. And he's like, but my feelings, and she's like, fuck you, you're trash. So then he tries again to the published writer, and she basically has the same thing. She's like, I would never consult with you on such garbage. Like, this isn't even a good foundation. This is trope after trope. This is such low-grade crap. It doesn't even elevate itself to a bad copy of a trope. Yeah, just completely shuts him down. It was really amusing. But, once again, the wind of that's a little bit taken out by the fact episode 0 cuts away in the future when they're still working on it. And that's the first episode, thus it being 0. Jeff, what did you think of Saekano?
I liked it.
Yeah? What did you like about it?
Girls. No, episode 0 was... the show is very well animated. That's one thing I very much enjoyed.
definitely.
They even make a joke about it in episode 0 where the published writer girl is just kind of like... She's talking about a different show, but brings up how the fluid the animation is and other things that I can't remember.
So, like, the cool thing, I think, was in episode 0, like Jeff's talking about this scene. They start, the very first scene is these hot chicks in, and they're supposed to be hot. One of them's the flat one, and the rest are endowed to one extent or another.
Flat.
So
Jeff is angry! But in any case, they start in a fucking hot spa. And they're just talking about anime and debating the quality of stuff. And one of them's like, oh, I didn't watch that. It's garbage. And the other one's like, well, what was it? Fucking pretentious people like you would shut down a thing without actually watching all of the series, blah, blah, blah. And they just keep going back and forth with it. It's like, you need to check out the animation and all these other things. And they're going back and forth. And then one of them's like, I bet main character guy Aki, I bet Aki's trying to peep on us right now, right in here. And the other chick, who's the most well-endowed out of them, is just, keep in mind the flat chick said that sentence, she's like, what are you embarrassed about? You have nothing to be embarrassed about. And she's just like, ugh. Meanwhile, it cuts to Aki in the next spot over. He's just like, why are you talking about anime now? Talk about it back in your room so I can talk with you. Because he's an otaku. There you go. So it was interesting. Episode 0 did a lot of like being meta about itself while also playing it off as talking about other things.
Yeah, I was say like your description sounds extremely meta. And I'm like, this sounds way more interesting than I expected it to.
It is incredibly meta. I mean, it reads very much like a light novel, or plays out very much like a light novel, I would say, just because it feels like I've watched about 10 other shows that are almost exactly like this, is how meta it gets.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, meta is kind of what light novels do, but yeah, it's...
Meta is our generation.
Right.
Like, let's be fair, we're driving ourselves insane with the idea of formats and things, so of course, a lot of things get meta. This thing breaks into meta like 3 sentences into the actual episode of 0. Like, even ignoring that hotspot scene, he starts giving a breakdown of who the people are riding the train with him, and he can't even get to the first person before she looks over at his laptop, is reading what he's writing, and she's just like, you can't do an info dump at the beginning. And he's like, what? And she's like, you're gonna lose the audience. They don't care. They'll be bored shitless, and you need to work it into conversation casually.
Bullshit. I watched, was it Game of Thrones? Or the first episode, and I stopped because it was too much of an info dump.
See, exactly.
Okay, Jeff, you were saying?
Yeah, what did you want to say,
the first episode kind of...
No, you said, was this episode 1 or episode 0?
Well, I watched it on Hulu, so both. I was actually a little bit worried about that, because Dan was like, we watched episode 0 through 3, and I was like, well, I watched 1 through 4, I think. And then I had to double check, and then it turned out that Hulu was just like, well, it's the first episode.
So fuck you, we're labeling this episode 1.
Well, yeah, and then the first episode, though, it almost seems like it's just going to go down this really tropey, generic route. But then it starts to kind of break away. I mean, it's still pretty tropey, but it's not... It's not just as, like, one...
Maybe we didn't mention earlier that, like, the Dojin girl is his childhood friend who is super tsundere and has twin tails. Fuck. And then the other one is also tsundere and loves him.
Yeah. So it's both a criticism of tropes while also being a giant cliche in itself. Gotcha.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, the first episode, I really did like the first episode. But when I watched it, I was a little bit worried that it was just going to become this boring mess of being the same exact thing I've seen 1,000 different times.
Episode 0 is really harem anime.
Yeah.
It is like, shit, did I just sign up for 4 episodes of schlock harem anime? And it really pulls away from that harem feel by even episode 1.
I don't know. I was still getting pretty heavy harem vibes.
Like, episode 0's Tenchi scale of like, they're literally physically fighting over him. They're doing, like, John Campo to see which one is gonna rape him. I'm being literal.
Oh, yeah, because
that happens in the first episode.
They get drunk off of the rum chocolates.
Yeah, they get drunk off the rum chocolates because they're fucking 15 or something. And one of them holds them down, and the one who won's like, okay, time to get back at you, Mr. Ethical. Give me your dick.
Isn't that a play on his name?
I don't know.
I think in episode 1, I think whenever I don't recall quite
their names or whatever.
Oh no, I just don't quite recall how the scene went down. It was something like whenever he was asking not the main girl, but his love interest.
The heroine.
Yeah, no, not the heroine.
So big boob chick.
Big boob chick, the plot writer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The writer.
I don't. It's confusing because it's like the plot writer is his girlfriend, but the main character is the boring girlfriend, who is the girlfriend
episode
of
0
the
wasn't
show.
super clear on it, but based on the other episodes, he's not really dating any of them.
It makes it seem like he's dating because I think he even says that he's dating the what is her name? I'll look at this list real quick. Dark-haired novelist.
Utaha. Yeah, Kasumi Gaoka. Of course. I remember that name coming up, and I was like, it's like Kasumi, but with a fun Gaoka thrown on at the end.
But yeah, whenever he's asking her for the help, and she's just kind of like, this is garbage, and crumbles up his screenplay or whatever you would call it.
Yeah.
and then she calls him Mr. Ordinary, and then it shows the characters for his name,
Yeah.
and then crosses out one of them, and then it's like Mr. Ordinary.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that's like the pronunciation of his name, if you would nix one of the characters or something.
Japanese word jokes.
Like that. Yeah.
Exciting.
Don't worry, when they bring it over, they'll rename him Gary. Name him Mr. Gay.
I don't even remember where I was going with bringing that up.
You were trying to figure out why they were calling him Mr. What
In
did
their-
they do for
Mr.
most of it? It wasn't ordinary most of the time. It was Mr. Ethical.
Ethical.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Because I
then
think
you were
they
about to
did-
say something about the girlfriend situation. Like,
Yeah, you were trying to say that Utaha was kind of... Or Uta? Is it?
Utaha.
No, it is
It's
Utaha.
Utaha.
Okay.
Utaha.
Yeah, Utaha was his girlfriend. But yeah,
it's been
it's
a
like-
while since I watched episode
She's
0.
the girlfriend, but she is clearly like, I don't know. She's not the main character.
yeah, in episode 0, it's a little weird. Like there
Huh.
is kind of an air of that of like you hear Twin Tails be like, she stole him away from me, and that was before she literally grabbed him and ran off. So there is some implication of like that, but
Why don't you have the?
yeah, you are
music
missing the
girl.
musician that
That
we
was
didn't
only
get
in
any-
episode 0.
Yeah,
so we got
Okay.
nothing.
she doesn't show up by episode 4
Okay,
or
because
3.
Because I was looking at that, I'm like, how is this a harem? There's only 3 girls. You need at least one more.
Yep, that's how. There's a
Okay.
musician, and we
It's
haven't
the,
hit her by
the
episode
mature
3.
one that plays music and has giant boobs. That's right.
Utaha has the biggest boobs,
Oh,
Jeff.
does she have the biggest boobs?
Yes.
They also all wear
Clothes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
They wear
but yeah,
clothes.
we have to deal with it.
That
In the
makes
first
my
episode, they were
drawings
only
really
wearing
hard.
towels, so it was kind of all right.
Got over it.
It was almost optimal.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
So, Bob, what do you thought it was too schlock harem?
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I feel like there's been a boom of too many of these kind of animes that are super self-referential. Like, everything feels not just like it's knows what it is and is a harem, but knows that it's a dating sim specifically and will constantly reference dating sim elements. And I get really tired of that. Like, I feel like I've seen so many that do it these days.
I can't agree with that
Yeah.
asshole. How about you?
I
mean,
agree to
it's
it with
okay,
them to an
but-
extent, but like, just compared directly with all the garbage, Nichijou aside, because watch Nichijou, please.
You need to do it.
I could have done it every time I say that.
I'll get it eventually. I'll tell you what, like, eventually I will get like a goddamn like region-free DVD player, and I will import the Australian DVD.
Next episode will just be like, Jay watched this, and then you'll be like, no, I actually just watched Nichijou, and then we'll forgive you, and it'll be all right, and then we'll talk about Nichijou for a second episode.
God damn it. God damn it, Jeff. Even I have my limits.
Okay, I'll
But-
keep that in mind
Oh,
the next time
I
like
would-
we have something that I think's gonna suck.
I would like to bring up the OP and the ED of Saekano,
Okay.
because the OP is fucking awful. I hate
Yes.
it. It's
High five,
terrible.
Jeff.
It's
yeah.
terrible. Like
That was
I
fucking
found
terrible.
myself skipping it.
Yeah,
That's
the,
not a good sign.
I mean, I found myself skipping it, and you know what intros I'll watch every episode.
the
Right.
I'm that
instrumental
type of
for
guy.
it was like, it was all right, but the person they got to sing it, I think her name was like Haruna Luna,
Yeah.
or something like that. It was she could not sing worth
No,
shit.
yeah, no,
like
absolutely
every
not.
note was flat. I don't understand what they were thinking with that.
I have no idea
And then,
either. And then the ending was like better than the intro.
I loved the ending.
Yeah.
Like, no, seriously, that's why I was bringing up earlier why I wish I could look at my play count, because I downloaded the little
Ending
EP thing that
Yeah.
they released that has the full version and then the anime version and the instrumental version and then 2 other songs that suck compared to it. But no, I liked the ED a lot.
Yeah.
It was really fun and cute.
I thought
And
it was,
I think
thought it was
if they
really good too.
if they would have done it as the OP, I think it would have done a lot better. But for some reason, they just shoved it at the end of the series.
Normally, you don't stick your better material at the end of an episode.
I'm
You
sure
try
it was
to
some
try-
company being
Well,
like,
shit, I
"Fund
mean, that's
this
what Gourmet
girl. We're
Girl
trying
did.
to."
just to go ahead, continue.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was some sort of funding issue. Just like,
Yeah.
hey, we're trying to put out Haruna Luna, so put her in the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
And then we'll give
fucking
you $30,000 or whatever. they
the
do.
intro also is like visually uninspired, and its whole shtick is that it's panning up the main female characters as though they're in a hentai game or a hentai or
Right,
whatever.
you just see, like-
you pan up from the legs, and it goes so slow, and the whole time their animation. Keep in mind they're animating, but they're bigger than the frame, and it just looks really jumpy and not smooth. So as they're panning up, you're just seeing their leg twist in weird ways as they just sort of shift. And then right before it gets to their head, it cuts to the next one. And that's like the whole shtick for the intro. So not only does the animation look bad, because like they're larger than the frame and it doesn't have as much care put into each, pixel of that image as something that is smaller than the frame. It was like boring as hell. Like, what a fucking concept. Like, slowly pan up characters. Like,
I'm gonna interject real quick
Yeah,
for all
sure.
the baka etchies that are listening to our podcast.
we know you're out there.
Yeah. The panning up of the characters, it's all nylon tights with the absolute zone showing and stuff. So
Important
it has
details.
that going for it. It's not just like it's bare legs or something. They're doing a little bit with it.
Yeah, they had some animation going on with the leggings where I'm like, what the fuck?
It's still really bad.
Or one might say, how inventive.
Yeah. At least in a Toradora, it shows her putting on the.
Yeah. It has an action, whereas all of
It's
them
not
are
just
just
like-
standing there shifting.
Yeah, it's like,
and
I'm
the
gonna
animation
stand-
looks
oh.
weird.
I hit the microphone.
You're
And-
fired!
Good.
That shock mountain is for show. It doesn't work.
No, it's like, let's lift one of our heels up in the air, and then we'll pan up to your waist, and then play this really awful flat song.
Yeah. It's
And
one of the worst
that's the
intros
intro.
we've
Yeah,
watched in
it's-
WeeaBoots, which is
That's impressive.
saying a lot, because sometimes you get a badly animated intro that has an okay idea. Other times you have a great song that has a terrible visual. This is like a bad song, bad idea, and bad visuals all combined to make this just very skippable opening. Whereas the ending I remember is pretty good. Not as good as Yatterman Nights, but
I didn't
Yeah,
hear that
it's a
one.
Yatterman Night in
But
a
it's
bit.
debatable because I really liked the ending of
Yeah.
Saekano.
Yeah, maybe we should check that out with Jeff at some point. But
Yeah.
but before we go over to Yatterman Night, so Bob, you find it too referential to the genre of like dating sims to be
Right. I mean, I think it's still okay, but yeah, there's a little bit too much heavy on that for me. Like Orimo, freaking.
Don't you say that.
Don't
you
like,
say
those,
that.
those started.
Don't you
it.
talk shit about Jeff's waifu!
That
Kirito
one
was my
started.
number one waifu.
That started it. No, that's when I was like okay with it because it was like okay, this is cool and original. But now it feels like everything's trying to cash in on that. And
I did, while I was enjoying watching Saekano, what I do agree with you, and I don't think I would give it a second watch, or really, I don't think I would even recommend it so much. But I mean, that's not to say that I didn't have fun watching the episodes I did watch.
But yeah, it looks pretty and it has like nice character designs. Like I like the tsundere girl with the fang and such.
Yeah.
Like it was
Tsundere girl with the fang. Very, very unique.
very
I don't
unique.
think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah.
Probably
neither.
not. Twin Tails too. I mean,
But
Yeah,
yeah,
whoa,
I don't know. I
Tails.
find the way the characters interact and like the comedy writing pretty enjoyable. I would recommend this. I haven't seen Orimo, but I find the fact that the main character is some shonen otaku who just constantly is like, why the fuck would I want to deal with 3D women? I only deal in 2D. You know that. And because he's trying to go about writing this fucking dating sim, he keeps contextualizing very specifically the heroine, the chick he ran into. He's contextualizing everything she does in a like, no, that's to this. You need to be more like dating sim girls. They would, when they enter my room, they would walk over to the window to open it for some cold air and be like, oh, it feels so cool in here now. Or sit down on the bed on accident because they got too comfy and stand up and blush and apologize. And like he does that a lot with her. I don't feel like he does that really with anybody else. He just sort of shuts them down because they're 3D girls. He just wants the talents of the women. Also, he does admittedly, like, mention that those two angry bitches, Uraha and fucking bitch girl, Eriri, who is...
Eric.
Eriri.
Is her middle name Spencer?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
she's half Japanese, half English.
It somehow
Okay,
has blonde hair
That's
from that.
how she gets blonde hair.
Okay, is that how like Japan just like every time they're gonna have like a half Japanese person, they just give them the middle name Spencer?
Yes,
Because
Spencer
not-
Henley
Hoko.
Hoko. Yeah,
Oscar
fucking
Langley
yucca.
Soryu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or
Oscar
what did they
Spencer.
change it?
Sorry.
Oscar Langley Shikanami. 'Cause
Shikanami.
Soryu wasn't Japanese enough.
Right? Even though
Fucking goddamn it.
Soryo's so fucking Japanese.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, he just refers to Uraha and Eriri as both just really angry bitches. And when he tries to communicate to the main heroine, it's like, well, it would be more attractive if you were more overbearing. She's like, you mean like angry all the time? And he's like, no, I have enough of that. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of enjoyable. Like I would keep watching this one. I really would.
Yeah, I actually plan on probably finishing this one.
Yeah, because it's good. I feel like it's really, really enjoyable. It doesn't hit that schlock layer that a lot of what we watch for WeeaBoots does, where it's just like, not only you're not original, you're not just enjoyable on your own. like you're not funny, you're not visually interesting. It is pretty well animated here, and it is fairly funny at
Okay,
points.
now
What's up?
Now, compared to all the schlock that we have been watching on WeeaBoots, would you recommend it over all the schlock?
Yeah, I mean, it's better than a lot of schlock.
Okay.
It's better than Blueberry Rice.
Definitely.
It's one of the first ones
better
I
than a Kami
actually
Ga Kill.
like to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll put it up there.
Yeah, it's not uncomfortable to
I'll
watch.
say,
Like a
but it's
Kami-ga-Kill
not Barakamon levels.
Barakamon's just fucking good.
Yeah,
Right,
like
that is
that's
just so good.
right. So
Seriously, what the fuck's that
assuming
word?
that's a 10, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I like how we all agree. Yeah, Barakamon, it's a fucking 10.
it's a fucking 10. Fucking, I would say this is an easy 8, maybe a 7.
7.
7.
I'm thinking 7.
What are you thinking,
I'd
Bob?
knock it down to like a 6
6.5.
or somewhere a 6 or a 7.
Bob's the hard
Get out of
guy.
here, Germany.
Everyone but Germany gets a 6. Oh, we're playing 10. Olympics are great. So I guess now that we're done with Saekano, we can talk about Yatterman Night. So hey, we took a short break and Jeff talked about X's.
It took quite a while, but we're back now.
But we're back now.
I have so many.
And Jeff
You kawaii ass motherfucker.
brings one in every week. Like, this is case 13.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about Yatterman Night. Hey Bob, give us the rundown.
Yatterman Night's done by director Tatsuya Yoshihara. I did it.
Yeah, you did it. Woo!
The only other thing he directed is
Muromi-san.
Muromi-san, which is this
TV.
Yeah, it's a TV show. It's like a 15-minute
Okay,
show
now
about
fuck
a
up the name of
mermaid.
the animation studio so we can yell at you.
It's done by Tatsunoko Productions.
Oh, 2 for 2.
There we go.
Very nice.
It's done Speed Racer and like everything else.
Are they
Yatterman.
the ones that
Yatterman and
did, Capcom
Gatchaman
versus
and
Capcom?
Cassern.
Yeah.
If you heard
They actually did animation. A lot of people don't know this. They did animation designs for Mega Man 7.
Did
the
they?
Super
Oh.
NES. That's why he looks like anime as fuck in that.
I always wondered about that because
That's
it
cool.
was just kind of like, hey, we're not going to be sprites anymore. Now it's an anime character.
They spun off and made production IGs from old Tatsunoko staff. So
Yeah.
that's Tatsunoko's huge. They've done almost everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Speed Racer and more.
So, Yatterman Night. You head into this one expecting another
Okay,
Yatterman
Thing
series.
is, though,
just
should
a
we
normal
explain
fucking-
what Yatterman is first?
Well, I was about to.
Okay.
You expect the normal Yatterman series where it's like the villain of the week thing, but it's always the same villain. It's the Ronbo, right?
Yeah.
Every fucking time. They show up with the fucking nose bastard and fat bastard and a pig, and the main
They're-
chick who's a blonde evil person with a mask
And
tries
nice
to...
tits.
And nice tits.
You
Thank
need to get the details, Dan.
I'm sorry. You and Jeff are here to keep me on point.
Yeah.
Fucking-
And I think she's the one who invented that oh ho ho laugh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's like...
Did she?
Yeah,
Because
1970... The original is 1977, is it?
77.
Yeah, fucking... She's like... Ooh!
Yeah.
I love
these
that
guys,
laugh.
like the Durumbo gang, they are the original Team Rocket.
Yeah.
Like they have like their letter emblazoned on their uniforms. They blast off away at the end of every episode. They have
Yeah.
the boss that like punishes them for failing
And they
every damn episode.
And yeah, the original Yatterman invented this shit.
Mm-hmm.
It fucking did that in, like, you know, the main two people are Yatter 1 and 2, is it?
yeah, Yatterman 1 and Yatterman 2
Yeah, which Yatterman 2 is a girl.
Yeah.
is his girlfriend. Yeah.
Yatter woman.
Yeah. Fun fact. That's what Grace Siaman's name is based on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Siaman 1 and Siaman 2 for Videl.
Yep. So, you know, this is yet another Yatterman series, so you really expect another like the original series, where it's that sort of thing. In fact, they did the original Yatterman, they did a live-action movie. Who directed that again?
That was.
Takashi Miike?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so...
That was really good.
What
Yeah.
did that person also do? Does anyone remember?
Ichi the Killer.
Was it Zebra Man?
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
Zebra Man. That's what I saw from that.
Yeah,
okay.
he's awesome.
Yeah, he's a pretty prolific director over there.
Yeah, so Jeff's dying. Give us money so we could pay for his cancer surgery. Or buy him more Red Bull. More likely going to go to that.
Yeah.
But in any case,
I'll settle for Monster
so, you know,
Energy.
the movie is just straight up like the original.
Yeah,
And
and
then,
then
they did a 2008 remake. And that too, pretty similar to
Yeah, it was basically just a lot of the same, just just sleeker animation.
Right.
They even make jokes about how they're not able to go as far with the fan service because of like TV standard and practices changing. Because the original Yatterman was super kind of racy for a kids show and caused some controversy. So the remake
So it's
kind
gotten
of
tamer over time.
So they had to tame it back a little.
Tamer?
yeah,
yeah.
Japan did the reverse. of
Really?
us.
Yeah, because like they're like, yeah, tits for kids shows, and then they're like, oh wait, we're not supposed to have exposed nipples shown to 8-year-olds. Well, okay, fine, and then
Yeah, I think that happened in the 2000s, pretty much. That's when I feel like we started seeing a lot more censorship and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and now it's like now if you have like nipples, you have to like buy like the Blu-ray because like the TV versions will have like Steam or whatever covering.
Yeah. But
America's shows are practically softcore porn now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
Disney,
that.
here's some 14-year-olds dressing very sluttily.
yeah, Disney Channel's great.
So,
Speaking
yeah.
of which, how the hell is Gravity Falls good and on Disney Channel? That's still blowing my
Yeah.
mind.
Apparently, I hear Wander Over Yonder, another one that they have, is really good too. It's,
Oh, yeah?
It's Craig McCracken and Lauren Faust. So
Wait, who? What?
Craig McCracken, the creator of
yeah, wait, what are they doing?
Wander Over Yonder. It's a show on Disney XD.
Fun.
That's like shown like.
So wait, I'm gonna guess Gravity Falls and that are just two shows made by people pissed at Cartoon Network.
I'm guessing so
because
because
Craig McCracken is not happy with those fuckers.
yeah, like Lauren Faust, I guess, is also kind of sticking it to Hasbro because she had to leave My Little Pony for
I
shit.
guess that's what you do when you're a prolific creator.
Yeah.
Like trying to take a stab at Adult Swim's market. Or
I don't know.
something.
Adult Swim's market is King of the Hill. Last I checked,
I'm
King of
okay
the Hill
with
and
that.
Family Guy. Yes, you are, except for the Family Guy part. Wait, do you like Family Guy?
Not really.
Okay, so you're only half okay with that.
Yeah. Just like Family Guy. That was the biggest reason I canceled my Netflix account.
You're
Wait,
like
did I say Family Guy?
Yes.
No, King of the Hill. I
King of the
love
Hill.
King of the Hill. Family Guy, not so much.
Yeah.
But no, they had like every season, and they were just like,
Yeah.
nope, we don't anymore. I was like, goodbye, Netflix. And then
So-
I just downloaded it.
so fucking Yatterman night. You head in, you expect another retelling of Yatterman, and it is exactly the opposite of that.
Yeah, this is okay. So Tatsunoko has been doing these kind of revivals since the 2000s, and over the last 6 or so years. They did Casern Sins, which was just like this dark, gritty reboot of Casern. Then they did Gatchaman Crowd a couple of years ago, which was they basically just completely reinvented Gatchaman from the ground up. Took a few choice elements, called it Gatchaman. Look, it's heroes and transformations and some motherfucker named Bird Katse, who may or may not be a woman, and there are some aliens that they're fighting. Took the bear. And I hear that one's amazing. But then this one, it's just this another weird revival where it's they did a sequel. It's
instead of it being what the original was, which was kind of
Slapsticky and-
slapstick, very light.
Yeah.
This is the exact opposite. The main character is this little blonde girl, and she lives with her mother alone on a fucking island with two people, and it turns out they're the descendants of the fucking Dorombo.
yeah.
And her mother dies of a disease in episode 2
Yeah.
or 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, holy shit, this is dark.
Yeah.
And she the whole time she's being told, if you're a good person, you'll go to heaven, and maybe someday you too can live in, what was it, Yatterman Island?
Yatterman Kingdom.
And they just point into the horizon where you see all these beautiful lights and things.
Yeah.
So when her mother gets sick, she travels over to the water to get some medicine, and it's like, I need to go talk to King Yatterman so that way I can get some medicine for my mother so she doesn't die of this disease. And fucking, they're almost there, and you hear a siren, and out of the fucking water erupts this fucking enormous battleship.
No, it's a huge
just
it's
this
a huge
wall.
wall.
Yeah.
Wall with a Y on it.
Yeah.
With the Yatterman
in
symbol.
the fucking water, and then the two Yatters come out, and they're just glowing red eyes pointing a gun at them, and they're like, back the fuck up! It's just start firing.
Yeah.
So then her mother dies of the disease.
Yeah, because they couldn't get the medicine. So yeah, like the premise for the series is,
And then she's like, wait a second, Yatterman are fucking shitlords. I'm gonna go punish them. So then they adopt the roles of
Yeah.
their ancestors and become Doronbo.
yeah. So like the premise for the
I feel
series
like I
is
missed out not watching this
yeah,
one.
like
It's good.
so yeah, like the premise for the series is just that like it's set generations after the original Yatterman series. Yatterman 1 and 2, they defeated the Rumbo, like, you know, and they became these heroes, and they created like the Yatterman Kingdom, and, you know, peace or prosperity reigned, and the Rumbo gang were exiled off to an island. And
Where
now,
they somehow procreated completely separately.
well, there's apparently
Other people there.
yeah, there are other people there. Cause
At
there's
least one,
Because
supposedly.
there's a doctor there. So there are other people there. We only see like their little farmhouse that they have.
Right.
By
It's just
episode 4.
Yeah. So yeah, they got exiled, and so like their generations lived on, and like so, Leopard, who is the little girl, you know, she has no clue about her past, her ancestors' past, and then she finds out, and they're like, oh, well, my ancestors were bad people. Then when this Yatterman shit happens, you know, she's like, Yatterman was evil. The Rumbo must have been the good guys trying to defeat them, and just, you know, like she completely takes the story completely reverse, and yeah, just the descendants of Yatterman are evil motherfuckers who have just brought tyranny down on the world.
Yeah, and it almost gets into like this Mega Man Zero scenario where the main character of a prior series in the franchise, in that case Mega Man, in this case Yatterman, is turned into an evil robot army that they're
Right.
just killing the shit out of the whole series.
Yeah.
That
And
happened in Mega Man?
Yeah, Mega Man Zero. It's like an evil Mega Man robots are just walking around and the Zero's just slicing them up and shit. That was Mega Man Zero. It was kind of cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
Yatterman
crazy.
Knight, same thing. You have like crazy Yatterman 1 and 2 robots roaming around, like
Yeah.
trying to murder the Rumbo.
So
Like-
Yatterman is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just straight up.
Completely.
Is it like it's portrayed that way? Like
There is not a doubt. Okay,
Yeah,
like,
there's no-
like they
no
have like
question.
they have like internment camps that they take people from their homes. Like it's like you have been chosen to work for the next 35 years in the
In this
mines.
factory.
Yeah, in this factory under, you know, Lord Yatterman.
So it's
and
North
it's like
Korea?
and they're like yeah.
yeah, it is pretty fucking North Korea up in there.
Yeah, and it's
Don't bring a Bible.
It's really
Does it like follow the leopard? What's it? Leopard?
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
little
leopard
girl's
is
name
the main character.
Yes.
Yeah, Leopard is the main character. She adopts the name of Doronjo, like her ancestor, and she makes her like the two descendants of the henchmen take the henchman's name, and they revive Doronbo, the gang.
Yeah.
See, here I was just expecting
Another Yatterman.
yeah, like
Yeah.
a silly remake of Yatterman.
Yeah, no,
I
this
was
is-
too. Like, so when I came out, or when Jeff kind of gave me the idea, and then I finalized that, okay, yeah, one of you will watch this, and the other one, and then me and Bob will watch both. I was like, fuck, they chose Yatterman. I don't fucking want to watch 4 episodes of
See, the thing
Yatterman.
is, though, it was great because like I knew the premise. Because like when I first saw the character designs, I was like, "What is this lowly fucking Doronjo bullshit?" And then I found out the premise. So when we were like picking it out, I'm like, "Yatterman, nice, please. Yatterman, I want to watch that one."
Yeah, and that turned out pretty well. Yeah, it's
like,
pretty
this
good series. It's totally. It has its humorous moments, but
Yeah.
a lot of it is a lot more somber.
Yeah, and it
Right.
it strikes a really nice balance. I really feel like it's because like that premise is really cool on its own, but they do it so well, and certain things like because it keeps a lot of the slapsticky like elements from the series. Like like the big robots and like the big stupid robots that the Yatterman use, like
Yeah.
the bird and the dog and shit like that.
And
like,
And then Ronjo also has her own big stupid
yeah,
robots.
yeah,
and then dumb jokes in the middle of action sequences
Yeah.
involving these robots. It's like,
Yeah.
here's this badass robot, and then like a tree erupts in the middle of in the control room, and the pig climbs up it and gets on top, and then the person, Doronjo or Leopard, same character, is just like, I can't see.
because it's big,
Yeah, so it does a really good job of
yeah,
balancing that.
yeah, but like also like because like repurposing a lot of those kind of silly moments, like the whole yatta 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 man, and they would do like the pose.
Yeah.
like that's now become almost like this
An imperialistic
this
Nazi march.
salute. Yeah, because like you'll see them go yatta man, and they'll do like the pose, and then everyone else will go yatta man, and because if you don't, you're disrespecting Lord Yatterman.
Yeah, it is straight up
And they'll
the Hail
kill you.
Hitler.
Yeah, and it's pretty much the Yatterman, like, silly pose has now become the equivalent of a Nazi salute.
And when they march, they're like, yatta, yatta.
man. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
I
It's
almost
yeah.
said I watched Saekano.
just, like, what was it? Like, whenever, like, whenever when the people are being taken away by, like, by the Yatterman drones to go work in the factories for the next 35 years of their life, everyone's, like, one of them is, like, this pregnant woman whose husband's being taken away, and she's just there going, Banzai! Banzai! Tears rolling down her eyes because, because if she doesn't show pride for the Yatterman kingdom, she'll be being executed.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so well done.
Now, Bob, we haven't heard
up?
anything from you on this yet.
I don't want to hear from Bob.
Okay, I'll shut up.
So, Jay, talk more, please.
Sorry, it's just like so this is like the first series like since Barakamon where I've just been
Yeah.
I really fucking loved it. So
Because it does a really good balance.
So, Bob,
Yeah, I have
Bob.
to say the same thing. It's very much it achieves a good balance. Like it still has goofy, funny moments somehow in the midst of
Yeah.
like this really dark stuff.
And it doesn't depreciate the weight of the dark stuff.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it really takes
Yeah,
away
no,
from
not
it,
really.
which
It fits
is
in
hard to
pretty
do.
well.
It's hard to do that.
yeah, they definitely struck a really nice balance because it's these really silly characters in this really bleak scenario. So also there's a couple of other characters I guess we should mention. There's the blind girl and the guy who makes their uniforms.
Yeah, like after so many episodes, these two start following him too, and
Yeah.
they kind of become part of the Drumbo gang.
Yeah, like it's kind of this, it's really interesting. They pretty much join up because their families died because of the Yatterman kingdom, and they're like, fuck Yatterman, we're gonna help you take those fuckers down. And it's just like you start seeing people like the townspeople are terrified and shutting their doors on the Duranbo gang, like fuck you, we're not helping you. And then they
Yeah.
get sold out in like episode 4. Shit, you haven't seen episode 4. Never mind.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You just ruined the
You
whole
ruined
show.
episode 4 for me, as opposed to what we've been doing, which is ruining the first 4
So
episodes.
it's for everyone
So
listening.
that way we can get people to go watch it, because it's really, really good.
Yeah.
So Bob, you really enjoyed this.
I did.
What was your favorite thing specifically? Do you have any one element of it that...
I found the ways they kind of transposed the traits of their ancestors on them kind of funny. Like Boyaki still's like high school girls don't exist in this universe because there's some it's some desolate future, and he's sitting there like high school girls. It has some
Because his
weird
thing
tone
in the
to it.
original series is that he was such a fucking perv for high school girls. In the
Yes.
fucking Yatterman movie, he's like, once we get that artifact and I can make a wish, I'll wish for a pyramid of high school girls.
Yeah, like, and it shows the dream sequence of him
On
laying
a pyramid.
laying on top of a pile of high school girls going, all the high school girls in the world.
It's just fucking ridiculous. So you cut to
Right.
this one, and he just, at the beginning of the series, he's like, high school girls. I don't even know what that word means, but there's such a bittersweet sound to it. And then later on, he's asleep, and he's like, high school girl.
Once he gets them, he'll realize how annoying they are.
Yeah.
And he'll just like, shut up, get out of here.
I think that happened at one point in one of these things, yeah.
Probably.
But yeah, that is pretty good. I enjoyed that part too, Bob.
So the blind girl,
Yeah.
she's blind?
She's
Yes.
blind.
Yeah, that's like pretty much, like her parents were, like I said, like her parents were murdered.
Taken.
They
They were
were
taken.
taken away, and the factory that they were working in exploded. So her parents are dead, and so is like her friend Galina.
Galena.
Galena.
Or Gachan.
Gachan's parents were also killed. So, and ever since then she's been praying for like an angel to bring her parents back or whatever, and that's when the Ranjo gang shows up and they're just like she mistakes them for angels basically. She can't see them, yeah. So she's
right, and she like feels Doronjo and she's some little kid
with long flowing hair.
Yeah, so she's just like, you must be the angels that I've been waiting for, and basically when she finds out like what they are, because I guess like they actually do tell her at some point, right?
I think they do, but she doesn't really get it. She seems a little slow.
Yeah, she doesn't really pick up on it. So
she's traumatized. She seems a little dumb in the head.
She's very traumatized.
Yeah, so blind girl is just kind of rolling with it. She basically just knows that like her parents are dead. She finally came to terms with that, and that the Runbow gang are going to basically avenge her parents by fucking killing Yatterman, probably.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good course of action.
Yeah.
Or forehead flicking him. That seemed to be the...
Forehead flicking?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's what you do to people who are being bad.
Yeah, you flick them on the forehead.
I'd be pretty irritated about that.
Yeah.
First giant robot they have, the giant forehead flicker.
It's a giant
hand
forehead.
holding back its index finger with its fucking thumb. And then the Yatterman robots keep running up to it, and it keeps flicking them into buildings nearby.
Nice.
It's pretty good and dumb and fun.
Old people like to wallet slap people.
Yeah, they do.
I imagine that would be equally as irritating.
It's exactly as irritating.
It's
Check
amazing.
out all my baby boomer money.
Yeah. I love how this series just, like I was saying before, like how it just takes all these really silly, campy elements of the old show and repurposes them. And it repurposes them into fucking nightmare fuel. Like, like the fucking Yatterman salute being basically like a Nazi salute. Like, fucking watching the drones just come down. Yatta, yatta. I'm like, this used to be so cute and fun, and now it's fucking horrifying. It is genuinely fucking terrifying. Like, they sell it really well, and it's just... Like, yeah, the way they repurposed everything in this series, they nail it so goddamn well, and I really want to see more of this series.
Yeah, I feel like this is about the best you could do with a dark reboot of a series, because this is really like, I don't know, it is a really dark, like, flipping it on its head thing, of like, now the bad guys are good guys, and everything's dark and sad.
Yeah.
And our main character is a young girl.
You still have Yatterman, like, goofiness. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's about as good as you could do
at that point, it's just all traditional. But they really nailed this. I really, really hope that Funimation gives us a dub and a Blu-ray release, because I think it really deserves it. I have a weird, bad feeling that this is going to be one of those things that nobody fucking watches, and I'm going to be really fucking angry about.
Well, you need to make some YouTube videos and yell at some people to go fucking watch it.
Right? Because...
Well,
goddamn.
I mean, that's what this podcast is. Though, I'm Bob is the only one who's seen both other than me.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go ahead and put down my foot and say I actually prefer Saekano.
Oh, yeah?
To
really?
this. I enjoyed the writing more.
Okay.
I mean, that's not to say Yatterman Knight's bad. It is surprisingly good.
Right.
Like, as I said, I edited going, fuck, I have to watch 4 episodes of Yatterman. It's like watching 4 episodes of Speed Racer.
I'd watch 4 episodes of Speed Racer, but...
I mean, I would watch 4 episodes of the English dub of Speed Racer.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's hilarious. Just, get a little inebriated so that way you can slow yourself down to the storytelling speed. Because otherwise you're just like, I'm bored. Oh, that was funny. I'm bored again.
Yeah, just, like, this premise was... Because, like, I don't know, like, I feel like, I'm sure this has been done before, where, like, a story did some sort of crazy inverse of the concept, and, like, the good guys are not bad guys, and vice versa.
Yeah, and it's grim dark as opposed to light and fluffy.
But, like, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but just... Like,
it's definitely a prolific thing. That is the thing that happens, where they do gritty reboots of things.
Well, I mean, gritty reboots, but I'll talk about that whole flipping the concept of, like, the dynamic between the heroes and the villains, and having this generational gap, this whole sequel thing. Like, that concept, I feel like I haven't seen that before. I'm sure it's been done.
Yeah, the generational thing seems pretty unique for this. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going to say I can't think of anything else like that. But...
Yeah. And the fact that it's actually, like, a legitimate sequel to the original series from, like, the 70s is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, it's just... Like, yeah, the fact that it still fits within original Yatterman continuity, it does completely flip the entire dynamic on its head. It's a huge tonal shift. Yeah, it still feels very... There's certain elements that are still very faithful to the, source material. Yeah, like I love the hell out of this. Obviously, like I just
Is this your favorite anime we've watched?
Barakumon's still number one.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we're saying like Barakumon's a 10. This is a 9 for me.
Yeah.
Is Barakamon only number 1 because you haven't watched Nichijou yet?
Yes.
Maybe.
That was me saying that. That wasn't Jay.
It should have been Jay.
Jay said maybe. The
I mean, like,
half-asser.
I've seen plenty of clips that make Nichijou look awesome. I don't know. I might get tired of Nichijou's antics after a while.
I go to bed every night seething that you haven't watched the show yet.
That's okay. Kyle does that about Firefly like every fucking night. So.
Yeah, but he's wrong about Firefly.
Shit,
Firefly's an anime.
Shit, like I saw Outlaw Star, so good enough.
Right.
Shit, I just saw the Boondock Saints earlier today because he's been riding my ass for like a week.
Now you need to watch 2 because it's like 10 times better than the first one.
I think he's lying to me.
He is lying to you. Hey, Jeff, I just thought about something. 10 times 0. So, hey, Bob, what's your conclusion on this? How good was Yatterman Night to you? Like, in the grand scheme
I'd rate it
of
above
WeeaBoots?
Saekano at least. I'd say probably like an 8 or so.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
So, you said 9, you said 8.
Yeah.
Number-wise, I don't know. I'm going to give this probably 7.5. That's a bias thing, where I just, like, I'm not super interested in that sort of format.
Yeah.
And I enjoy Saekano.
Honestly,
writing more.
Honestly, the mere fact that you were just like dreading watching Yatterman and you came out with that opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I think people should check it out. Absolutely. Like, it's a good...
Man, Dan likes both of his shows. What the fuck?
I don't know.
Dan never likes all of his shows. He's lucky if he likes one of them.
I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I like one. I'm trying to think of an episode where I hated everything.
The first one?
What was
Oh,
was
no,
in
I'm
it?
sorry. We watched the Zaki-kun, that first one. So, but like, the
Okay,
Zaki-kun didn't really hit its stride until later on.
Blue Spring Ride.
Yeah, Blue Spring Ride was in that episode, and I
Yeah.
didn't like that. I feel like Dan likes at least one series every episode.
What about the times you only do one series?
That's why we're doing 2 a week now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Jeff, what did you think about Yatterman?
you watched the intro. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, honestly, like,
So the pig is a pig?
yeah,
It's just
he
a pig,
talks.
and his
What?
name's Lord Oda.
Yeah.
Is he like oolong?
N-
Does he like panties?
No,
No.
he's just
He
just a
talks.
pig.
He can barely talk.
Yeah,
though.
like, he
He's
doesn't talk
says
that
one-
much.
Single words. It's
He
weird.
says like a single word, and then he says one sentence. That's like all he knows as a sentence.
And usually
That's
ends
one
on an
sentence.
oink.
And it's a dumb pun.
Yeah.
Even a pig can climb a tree if receiving pleasantries.
Yeah.
Is that a pun?
Pleasant trees.
Oh. Ha!
Yeah.
But it's also like, it's like one of those
saying.
Japanese word puns. It's one of those Japanese sayings like, I could do this. What was it? I could do all this work before breakfast. Too bad it's already lunchtime. Like, it's one of those lame old man sort of jokes. Which, you know, that's how you know it's from the original Yatterman.
right.
Because it's like, yeah, of course they said that shit in 77. Of course the Talking Pin said that shit in 77. But yeah, I thought it was alright. Its intro and outro didn't really grab me. The outro showed a bunch of characters that weren't involved yet
Yeah.
when
Actually,
the first time it rolled.
I'm pretty sure those two
Uh-huh.
are actually the Alouette and Gachan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's super weird because
Yeah.
Yeah,
they don't even
the
look like
animation
themselves.
style was... Because I was thinking what Bob was just then.
I theorized that. I still
Yeah.
haven't confirmed it.
Right. Yeah, I definitely really like the intro. Like, you know, as... Because when Jeff saw it, like, yeah, he kind of pointed out, it's generic, but, like, it was really catchy, and I like the visuals that went with it, especially, like the second half of the intro where you see them fighting, like, those weird misshapen Yatterman monsters.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's a really nice, you know, kind of symbolism for that, and yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I dug the intro. The outro, The intro
Yeah,
was good
I
stuff.
thought the intro song and visuals were on the higher end of anime intros. I'd give it an easy 7, maybe 8,
Yeah.
just because the music was well produced, which a lot of these aren't.
Right.
A lot of these kind of sound like shit and aren't terribly original. But this sounds like it could have been an intro for probably Gurren Lagann or some other shonen anime series like that.
Yeah, it was very shonen-y. That's something I can...
Yeah.
Which is weird
Which
when your protagonist is like, well, one, it's so damn dark, and two, your protagonist is a little lowly, so...
Yeah, so that kind of inverts that expectation there, but... Yeah, that's actually the one thing that works against it for me, where it's like, it's a shonen series, so every episode they're working towards this large goal of defeating an evil bad guy, and so they're fighting, and then there's some story, and like, I think Fullmetal Alchemist is the only shonen series that I think I really enjoyed because DBZ's dumb as fuck.
Wait, so
What Yu Yu Hakusho?
I'm about to say, motherfucker. We're about to have a fist
We
fight.
have 2 animes.
What
Yeah.
about Naruto?
No.
Honestly, okay.
Too many people were just like, check this out, and I'm like, nah.
Yeah, no.
That's okay.
it's
Watch Hunter x
pretty
Hunter. It's
terrible.
much better.
Well, it's done by the guy who did
Yeah.
Yu Yu, right?
Yeah.
So it better be, goddammit.
Right?
Oh, hey! WeeaBoots is a great place to talk about this. So Bob and I
What's up?
get to the end of the DLC and DMC
Oh
Devil
my
May Cry.
God.
We're talking about this on the podcast.
course.
'Cause this fucking audience will understand. We get to the fucking end of it. Let's check this out. It's called Virgil's Downfall. And this is after the main story. And Virgil is like in this weird spirit world, mental world hell. You don't know. But he's talking to an evil him via Terribly. And Jay, you need to understand this is me saying this, not Bob, where every motion comic is the worst ever. This is me. It looks fucking laughably Newgrounds, New Kid on the Block bad motion comics. And it's just him talking to Evil Virgil, and Evil Virgil's like, you need to show Dante that he's not number 1. Fuck that guy. Go kill him. So then he kills like some weird ghost Dante who has like a white face and crazy eyes, and you fight him and you kill him. It's like, you should go rub it into your mom's face because Dante was her favorite. So then you go and you save your mother, wherever you are, from an evil monster. Just literally, the second you kill that monster, you're just like, guess what? And you hold up like Dante's amulet, and she's like, that's Dante's amulet. And he's like, not anymore, or something like that. He tosses it at her, and he's like, yeah, he was always your favorite. I killed him. Fuck that guy. And she's like, oh, how could you? And he is like, yeah, I did it because you loved him most. And she's like, I love both of you. This is heading somewhere. I love both of you equally. I gave you life so that way you could appreciate love and feelings. And then he's like, yeah, we'll see you in hell or something like that. And he walks off and she's like, no, Virgil, don't leave me here. Virgil, where? And then that ends. And you go back to the evil Virgil in this motion graphic, and in the background there's been this floating pulsing heart thing that's black this whole time, and like you're talking to evil Virgil, and evil Virgil's like, so how did it feel? And then normal Virgil quotes Devil May Cry 3 and he's like, power, I need more power. And then he just stabs her and he's like, what are you doing? And he's like, give me back my amulet, because evil Virgil had his amulet this whole time. And then they start a fight, and I shit you not, it cuts in game, they're now in a vast desert, Evil Virgil's now completely blank white with crazy eyes, and the boss label says Hollow Virgil. And you kill him to get superpowers.
Okay, and he doesn't have a heart.
That is amazing.
I'm so glad I didn't play that.
Which is, hey, I'm really confused because who the fuck in the industry rips off Tide Kubo?
I don't know, they ripped off fucking, what was it, Futurama's Slurm thing.
They did.
Did they?
Well, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Let's be honest. Let's be fair here. That was actually a huge reference to They Live. So technically, they're ripping off a John Carpenter film.
That's true. So they're two
But it was-
degrees, but it was also being piped out of a... Well, no,
Right, it
that's
was
also in They Live.
Was all of that in They Live? Because it seemed...
Yeah, I think all of that is in They Live. That's a good point. They pipe the juice for the soda or whatever out of a giant monster in They
oh
Live.
fuck! No,
I haven't
that,
seen it.
That was only.
Okay,
Yeah, I was
yeah,
gonna say
okay.
it was Futurama was referencing They Live, but they took their own take on it.
Yeah, where
And
they
then
pipe the
visuals
juice
were-
for Slurm out of a giant monster, and that is literally what's happening in DMC. So the same people who rip off Futurama would be the people who rip off the only original idea in Bleach.
Masterful, really.
See, I pissed off Bleach fans now on 2 layers.
Are there Bleach fans?
Are there?
Well,
are you
Still,
out there?
I don't think
I mean,
so.
Hello?
You're
I'm reading it still.
I'm not a fan. I just. I have a
watched, like,
problem.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
Episode 180 or something, and then I was just like, oh my god, why am I doing this?
See, a lot of people have that moment when they watch a thing. Bob doesn't.
I I've watched all of the
Japanese.
anime, and I just want it to end, so I'm still reading the manga.
Let's
It's so
start
bad.
watching K-drama instead.
No.
I still
I don't
want to
wanna
watch
start.
I want to watch J-drama. Their cameras look
That's
like
not as
distinctly
catchy,
2003.
Oh god, that one that you
Yeah,
watched.
yeah. I
3
started
minutes
watching
of
one.
was fucking
What was
terrible.
it? 16-year-old blah 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 can't get a girlfriend or whatever.
Right.
Every single one.
Yeah, all of them are that. Every
was-
J-drama's that, I'm sure.
Probably.
Yeah, this is actually this is apparently a good week for WeeaBoots.
I guess so. These shows are both very watchable and
Yeah.
pretty good.
You know, Bob, really enjoyed at least one of them. You enjoyed both of them. He enjoyed his, and I enjoyed mine a hell of a lot. So yeah,
Everyone's happy this week.
Tune in next week for when we'll be bitter again.
Yeah,
Right?
we're gonna watch
It will be old-
Assassination. What?
Assassination Classroom? I guess
Yeah,
you want
it's
to
some
watch
other
that one?
anime.
I like the mask he wears in the
I thought that was
Yeah.
Wait,
I
Mask.
thought that was just a
Sure.
There's no mask
I think
in
that's-
that.
That's his fucking
that's
face.
Oh, well, I don't like it anymore.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, Jeff, you're so fickle. Thanks for listening to this episode of WeeaBoots. Go check out our video game coverage over at GigaBoots on YouTube and consider supporting us via Patreon so we can continue making WeeaBoots. Jay from HailZeon.com is HailZeon on YouTube, and our theme song is Android by Luckhash. You can check out more music from Luckhash at www.luckhash.com. Oh, and if you could, write a review for us on iTunes. GigaBoots has been brought to you by the support of our producers Vincent Poverk and Cywolf via our Patreon. Consider becoming a GigaBoots patron today.